So I am coming to you again for another Sunday story time. This one is travel related. So this one is related to my trip to Rome in August 2017. So after I'd worked all summer, I was like, treat yourself. You graduated, girl. You've been doing great with your life. You're a great person. You going to Italy, girl. And then I ended up going to Italy, Spain and Portugal because you know what? I had time. I did have the money because I literally had worked pretty much the whole of July, the whole of August, and so right at the end of August I was like, bam, 29th of August, see you later, mates. So I decided to go to Italy. So I went to Rome. I love Rome. I was in Rome November 2016 and it's one of my favourite cities. It is absolutely beautiful, incredible, the culture, the people, the food. Like I love Rome. And Rome is I love Italy as a whole. Like Italy is a country, and I've seen several different regions and several different places in Italy, but Rome will always be my first love. No, I think Rome, one reason why I have such a soft spot for Rome is because Rome is actually the first place I ever did solo travelling in my whole entire life. Like that was, okay, well I went to Milan for like 2 days beforehand, but I actually went to see, and I saw my host family, so I spent one day by myself, I spent the night in a hostel, then I went to spend the whole day with my host family, then I left like first thing, like early hours of the next morning to Rome. So Rome is really the first ever place that I experienced. Like I had the most incredible time. Like it was the shizness. So I will yeah, you guys might want to have a look at my Rome vlog, so I will link it below. And that was like my first solo trip ever. So yeah, it was amazing, absolutely incredible. So today's story of Rome, as much as it's a beautiful city, but this is like it says in the title, this is about part of the Rome you don't see, the part that is not on your tourist guide. It's not on your when you Google things to do in Rome. This is not part of things to do in Rome, but I just think it's something that as a human being and as a person, yes, countries are beautiful, everything, like Rome is an Instagrammable place, Rome is great to post on social media, but I think we also need to realise that people live in Rome. So it's a bit like how I felt like when I was in Cuba recently. People live there and there are struggles there, and as we should just always remember that. Like I live in London, same with my hometown. Like it's a beautiful city, but there are also people who are going through it, and we should never forget those people. And then also, when you can lend a helping hand, I genuinely believe that you should, regardless of how big it is or how little it is. I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts, where you can, you should, and not just to collect karma points, not just to be able to say I did this for this person, not to do any of those kind of things, but actually just because you're a human being and we live on the world with a bunch of human, like this is our planet, and these are our people. We are the one. Lion King, hey. But no, I genuinely believe that we should, like, it's just something that's human in you that should say, do you know what, if I can help, I will help. And not everyone has that. I don't see that everyone has that bone in their body. Like it's not like, I just know, and I don't judge people on what they do and they don't do, because I don't know anybody else's situation apart from mine. And so I make sure that whenever I can, I help. So even if it means buying, like if I see a homeless person, buying a homeless person a sandwich or some food or some water, or just anything that I can do, or even little things, like tiny things, like you don't understand how much that this can make someone's day, but like smiling at someone, saying good morning. Whenever I travel, especially when, like, so when I was in the whole of Central America, especially when it was very significantly noticeable that I am a tourist, I'm not from here, I made sure to smile at people as I went along. I made sure to smile at people, say hey, good afternoon, good evening, whenever I was in Italy, like in smaller towns or areas, yeah, just places where it's significant, or even just going into a shop, hi, how are you, hi, how are you, how's your day, like just smiling and just being a nice person, because you don't understand how much it can make someone's day. Holding the door open for someone, you know, if there's someone letting someone on the bus before you, all sorts of those little things. Just do the best you can to be the best human being that you can. So back to Rome. So I had come from like roaming around the city, like it was absolutely beautiful, and it got to night, because I spent quite a bit of time by the Fontana di Trevi, because obviously I'm Italiana. So I had spent quite a bit of time by the Trevi fountain. I had an ice cream. I just enjoyed it. Was just beautiful. And I obviously volunteered to take, like, there was quite a few people and couples who were trying to get angles and they couldn't quite get them. And obviously me, I was like, let me do it for you. I got you. I have you. And I'm not joking. Like, when I tell you, these photos came out amazing. There was also a lady who took amazing picture of me, and a couple who took a really nice video of me, like, throwing money to the Trevi fountain. So I was actually quite ill overnight, so I didn't go out in the morning. I left in the afternoon around 2 o'clock, and I just had a wander around. Like, I pretty much only used foot when I was in Rome, like only because I was there for 5 days. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 days where I took a bus because I got tickets because I thought just in case. Other than that, I really just was on foot, just walking. I don't think I even used the metro. I did use the metro once. Other than that, I was on foot pretty much the whole entire time in Rome, and that's usually what I do when I travel. So I'm walking around, and it's getting a bit late now. My stomach's saying my stomach's saying, yo, Ashley, put some food inside me. So of course I was like, let me head back to where I was staying. I was staying at the Beehive Rome. It's a absolutely like beautiful hostel. I had a private room there, and it was just like the lady who works there. I actually didn't meet the lady who owns the Beehive, but I'd been communicating with her via email, and then also the staff at the who worked there was so lovely, so helpful. Like literally, I had an amazing stay there, so I definitely recommend anyone who wants to stay there. Like whoever wants to go to Rome, definitely to stay there, and I will actually link them below so that you can check it out for yourself. And the prices are really good, and they're right next to Termini Station, which is really, really helpful. So I was wandering around so I wandered back from the Trevi Fountain and like heading towards my hostel, and it's kind of really like where I was, it's so central, it's really, really straightforward, and I've been to Rome before, so I didn't find it hard navigating my way back to the station because I did that maybe like 6 months beforehand. And as I was walking, I came across like a building, so it was like the top half of the building, then at the bottom like you could see like through, like it was like just transparent railings, but then you could see there was like cloths there, and there was like graffiti spray painted on the cloths. So I went a bit closer to kind of find out what it said. I don't read Italian, but I can see certain words, but I didn't understand anything that said. So, but then as I got closer, I noticed that there was lots of tents there. So I went to a gentleman, because I saw there was like tents and people. So I went to a gentleman who was there, and I was like, hi, what's happened, like why are there people here and why are there tents here? And I don't and then he called someone else who then translated, because he didn't speak any English, so he called someone else who does speak English and was like to me, he explained to me that what had happened is all the people who were living there had been living in a building somewhere in Rome, and the government had kicked them out of the building, or the police had kicked them out of the building because they were going to be using that building, like demolishing it and using it for something else. And these people were people who were quite poor, so they can't afford, they had no money to find, they couldn't afford to find somewhere else to live, and they have no money. Some of them don't work, some of them don't some of them do work, but that's what, like, they have no, like, that is their home, they have nowhere to stay. And oh my goodness, like, it did break my entire heart. But the big thing that made me really upset, because obviously homelessness is everywhere, homelessness is all over the UK, homelessness is all over the world, like, that's something that unfortunately is the world that we live in today. But what broke my heart the most was when, oh my goodness, I can feel myself getting a bit upset, is when as I was talking to him, I saw a little kid, like, this kid was literally, and it was quite hot because it was August, this kid was wearing a nappy, probably just about 1 year old. Like, I literally wanted to cry. Like, I was like to him, I was like, does everybody live here? I was like, even the babies? And he was like, yes, like, unfortunately they have nowhere else to go. And I literally wanted to cry. I was like, I think it's so sad, like, just for people to be homeless at all. But then to see a child, like a little baby, and especially in somewhere like Rome, in a country like Italy, a country that's so beautiful, a country that attracts so much tourism, a city that is absolutely amazing, like, I was heartbroken. I was like, how can a child be homeless? How can a baby be homeless? Not saying that I would ever want, like, the baby to be parted from their parents or anything like that, but, like, I just thought it was horrible. Like, it was not just thought, but it's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible thing to see. So I asked him, I was like, is there anything that I can do? Is there anything that I can help with? Like, do they need food? And then he, like, as I was there, like, a car pulled up, and apparently there was someone who was donating food to them, like a restaurant or something like that had been donating food to them. So it was like, oh, they're fine for food. And I was like, seriously, like, is there anything that I can do to help? So then he went to speak to another lady, and the lady says, just maybe nappies and rice milk, because the baby's still young. There's quite a few, and there was a couple of babies, and they can't eat proper food. So I said, yeah, sure, that's fine. So I went to the supermarket. I just googled, like, Google mapped the closest supermarket, went there. I got I didn't even know what size of nappies to get, so I think I got maybe 2 different sizes, No, I got one size of nappies, which I just kind of guesstimated because I wasn't sure how big the kid is. And then also I could not find rice milk anywhere. And I'm not sure if it was just a bad translation, if it was just supposed to be like powdered milk, but then also like there's like different ages and different things. So I wasn't sure at all. So I just got some milk. I just got some nappies. I got some nappy wipes, and I got some biscuits because I saw there was not just babies, but there was like kids as well. So then I went back and I couldn't find the man. I didn't take his name or anything like that, so I literally couldn't find him or the other lady that was with him anywhere. Like, obviously I didn't want to go in and start searching, but I was like, I tried to speak to a man that I initially tried to speak to, but he just didn't speak any English. So there was another guy who saw me trying to speak with him, and he was like to me, oh, like, how can I help you? And I just explained the situation to him. I said I've gone to buy the stuff and I wasn't sure where the gentleman is so that I can give them to him. Then he translated that to the guy that was sitting down that I was trying to speak to, and the guy was like, I have no idea, he's like, I don't know what man. And I was like, he was wearing a large t-shirt, blah blah, and he was like, nothing, I don't know what man. So then he then went over to, because we were across the road from where like the kind of like camp was where everyone was staying. So then he went across, camp makes it sound nice, but no, it was awful. So he went across, like, we crossed the road, and he went to go to speak to someone else who was kind of like the boss, the man who's like in charge and kind of takes responsibility for everyone who lives there. And he was like to him, like, is it okay to go inside and look? And he couldn't find him. Like, I guess they don't stay there. They must have just kind of been helping because I guess they left. So then I was like to him, well, I want to leave these things for these people, and some of the babies. So I don't know who he spoke to someone. They said it's fine for me to go inside. And oh my goodness, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. So some people had tents, some people just had blankets and stuff that were lying on floor, and this is concrete floor. Yes, it was summer, so it was quite hot, but the temperature drops at night time, so it was awful. It was awful. And babies, it was heartbreaking. There was because some of them were sleeping, and there was like someone who had like their cot, and their baby was sleeping in like a cot as they slept on the floor next to it. And there was like a kid who was maybe like 3 years old that was sprawled out on a blanket on the floor. It was horrible. Like, literally, like, even I could still see it in my head now, and it was just a horrible thing to see. It was just sad because he's like, I don't think, oh well, it's adults so it's fine, but these are kids. Like, children are innocent, children haven't done anything. Like, these are just children and babies. So he spoke to some lady, so I gave her the nappies and the nappy wipes and the biscuit, and another gentleman like the biscuits, and they were like, oh, thank you so much. And I said, no, like, oh no, like, it's fine, like, of course. And so then when I then saw one of the men, like, he spoke to her in Italian, and he asked her, like, can he have just like one nappy wipe to wipe him, and she gave him one, and he wiped himself, he cleaned his face, stuff like that. And that literally, because I think I maybe bought like 2 packets, and he was like, she gave him a packet, and he was like, no, just one. And he wiped his face, and he wiped what oh my goodness gracious me, that made me I just felt awful, because obviously I didn't even think, like, yeah, they probably don't get to shower or anything like that, so it must be quite difficult, like, and the fact that he was like, no, just one is okay, and that, like, they are like a little community. I don't know if they all lived in the same, like, they all knew each other where they lived before, but they all were in the same situation now, so they were all like looking after each other, sharing. And where they showed me is they had like a table which had like different like food, like dry foods laid out, different like bottles and stuff like that, and like things for kids that were all kind of like laid out on a table, which I guess is the method that they use to kind of share and divide between them. And so I was like so the guy that I was speaking to, he spoke like fluent English, so I was like to him, like, what else can I do? Like, is there anything else I can bring them? I want to do more. And he was like to me, like, I don't know, like, they spoke in Italy, and they said, no, like, it's fine, thank you so much. And I said, no, like, I said to him, I want to go get some more small things. He was like, oh, okay, I'll come with you. And so obviously, as we walk back? I think we got on a bus back, because I was like, I want to be as quick as possible. We got a bus back to the supermarket. I got some nappy wipes, some more. I got several. I think I got maybe like 7 or 8 packets of nappy wipes. I got more biscuits. I think I got a couple of bits of bottles of water. And he, bless his heart, he helped me carry with it. And I was like he was gonna carry all of it. I was like, no, like, I've got guns here. yeah, so I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you, like, we can both hold it. And as we were together, like, he was telling me, like, his story. So he's telling me that he had immigrated from Nigeria to Italy, and he says that currently, like, things are really, really hard, especially when you're an immigrant in Italy. He was like, that is quite a bit of a struggle sometimes, and he was like, it's so hard to find work. He was like, all I do is cleaning works at the minute, and he says, like, but even with the cleaning jobs, like, they don't treat us very well. And he was just, oh god, like, oh, it was a very emotional evening for me, because I felt like at the end of this, like, I'm going home, like, I'm travelling on, I'm moving on to another city, like, I'm still going to be living lives, and it's so sad to think that you're leaving behind people who are in such struggle. And yeah, I did do, like, what I could do at the time, but I just felt like, oh my goodness, I'm sure that, like, what else more can I do? Like, what else can I do? Oh, it was horrible. So yeah, so we went back, and I took back the nappy wipes, and so obviously, like, then we parted, and he was like, oh, like, let's keep in contact. And I just had to, like, be honest and be like, I'm leaving the country, so I won't be around. I won't be around, like, after this. I think I was leaving the country. I had one more day, and then I was leaving the following day. But yeah, like, it was one of the most heartbreaking things, because Rome is a beautiful, beautiful city, and there's so much to do and so much to see. But this is a side of Rome that people don't see. It's not something that like I said earlier, it's not something that they say, like, oh, like, things to do in Rome, go and help the homeless people, go and see the homeless situation. Because even when I was on a bus by and it was driving around the back of Termini station, and that is one of, like, the biggest, like, that's the biggest station in Rome. It's like their central station. It was full, like, full to the brim, just homeless people just next to each other, like, it was awful. And obviously people say, and they know that there's a homeless situation in Rome, because there is all over the world. And so, like, don't get me wrong, like, I wouldn't say, oh, Rome's a terrible place. No, it's a beautiful place, and I'm definitely going back again this year. But it's just, I thought I'd share a side of Rome and my travels that people don't see and people don't hear about, because people aren't always going to share about you the hard times or the struggles that they see. So I thought that it would be a good idea for me to actually just share another side to Rome. But I would definitely say, like, guys, where you can, please make sure to help. So I just thought I would share that story, just so that I can encourage people to help wherever you can, wherever in the world you are, whether you're helping while you're on your travels, whether you're helping where in your city or the town that you live in. Literally anything, every little helps. Don't copyright that belongs to Tesco's. But yeah, every little helps, like, in anything that you can do for people. I believe that you should. And then also, that's just a side of traveling that people don't see. I do share stories like that, so on the day that it happened, I did share that on my Snapchat. But that is something that you don't, like, that's it. Like, once it's shared on Snapchat, it's there for 24 hours, and then sometimes people forget. So I just thought that I would share it here on my YouTube video. And also, like, if you guys have ever come across anything like that, if you guys have any ideas on ways to help different people around the world, obviously there's always giving to charity, but I just feel like obviously there's loads of people who are helped by, and there's loads of amazing charities, but then there's also people who fall through the cracks as well and who aren't supported by charities. So guys, where you can, please do help, even if it's giving someone a smile, treating people like they're human and not just ignoring them and phasing them out, even if it just means saying, hey, how are you? Or, do you know what, I'm really sorry, I can't help you at the moment. Like, sometimes when someone says, oh, excuse me, do you have Jane, just saying, I'm really sorry, I don't. Like, guys, where you can help, do help. Literally just a quick short story before I close. I did the same thing when I was in New York. Saw a lady, she was living homelessly, so I literally went into Subway, and I think I put maybe like $10-15 on a Subway card for her. Americans, you guys call Subway like the metro, the train, and we call Subway like going like underneath like the ground. But like Subway, I was talking about Subways in like Subway the burgers, like, so I think I put about like 10 or something like that. And then I got her cookies as well, because I didn't want to buy her Subway, because I don't know if she's vegetarian, vegan, gluten free, or anything like that. So I just thought I'd just give her that so that she can go. It was down literally like not even a block, like 1, 2, 3, like 3 stores down from where she was staying. So I just went to go and give that to her, and she was so grateful for it, because I bet she sits there and thousands of people pass her every day and ignore her. But that was not why. Like, I don't do these things so that I can, like I said, gain brownie points, or so that I can say, oh my goodness, look at all the great things that I've done, because I don't think it's that great. It's a human thing to do. These are human beings too, and where you can help, you should help. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you enjoyed this Sunday story time, please do let me know in the comments, and please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And also, please do, like, for this particular video, please do share it with everyone and anyone that you know. I just really want to encourage people to help people where they can, and you don't know what difference that you can make or how that little can help someone and how it can make people feel, because obviously it's not a nice feeling to be homeless. I've never been homeless, so I wouldn't be able to say, yeah, I know how it feels, but it's obviously not nice to know that you were sleeping rough every single night, not having a bed to go back to, and not knowing where your next meal is to come from. Like, I get annoyed when dinner's taking long to cook. Like, not that I'm not a brat, but like sometimes when it's like, oh my goodness, like when's dinner gonna ready, I get a bit annoyed. So imagine like, and obviously like, it's like we're only human, we get annoyed over silly things, but when you're in a situation where you actually generally don't know, it's not a nice one. So guys, please share this video with anyone and everyone you know, like your mum, your cousin, your aunt, your dog, your cat, and guys, where you can help people. And also please let me know, like, have you guys ever been in a situation where you have seen like a side to a country that's not shared? Please do share this story. Not saying that the world is a bad place, because the world can be a very beautiful place, but we are humans and we are the people that make up the world, and we are the people that can make the difference in the world. So please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And guys, stay tuned, get ready for next week's Sunday story time.